Got a good video for you guys today, as in today's video we're going to be looking at baseball's top 10 teams. And this was a tough list to make, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me on some teams and where they're ranked, so let me know what you guys think down below at the end of the video. Now let's get right into the rankings. Coming in at number 10, I have the Seattle Mariners. As we stand today, the Mariners sit at 62-54, which is good for the second wildcard spot in the American League. Now offensively, they obviously have their young superstar in Julio Rodriguez, who in my opinion is going to be the unanimous Rookie of the Year. They also have other players like Ty France, Jesse Winker, and JP Crawford who have been playing pretty well. And one big addition they just got to this lineup is Mitch Haniger, who just returned from an injury, who missed most of the season, so he's going to play a big role down the stretch for Seattle. And they also have a very good starting rotation that consists of 4 very good pitchers. Robbie Ray has been a little bit inconsistent this year, but overall he's been very good. Logan Gilbert has broke through as well, as he's been one of the best pitchers in the American League. And they also have Luis Castillo, who was a huge pickup from Cincinnati at the trade deadline. And lastly, they have George Kirby, who's been a really underrated pitcher at the back end of this rotation. As for their bullpen, they have Paul Sewald closing out games, who has been virtually unhittable as of late. So Seattle is a really good team. I think they are a top 10 team in baseball, and I think they're going to end their big postseason drought this year. At number 9, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. Right now, the Phillies sit at 63-51, which is good for the third and final wildcard spot in the National League. Although Philadelphia has lost their past 2 games, over the past 10 games they've gone 7-3, and they've been playing some really good baseball without their best player in Bryce Harper. In Harper's absence, players like JT Realmuto, Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, and even Alec Boehm have stepped up. And once Harper does get back eventually, obviously they're going to be much better with him, because I think he has a huge impact on this team, not only on the field but off the field in the clubhouse. As for their starting rotation, they've gotten really good play out of Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, who in my opinion have been some of the best pitchers in the National League. Their bullpen is a little bit shaky as of late. They don't really have a set-in-stone closer, as Seranthony Dominguez and Corey Knebel have kind of been going back and forth. But all in all, Philadelphia is a very good team. I would love to see them in the playoffs this year with Bryce Harper. I think it would be a lot of fun to watch, and I have them coming in at number 9. At number 8, I have the St. Louis Cardinals. As we stand today, the Cardinals sit at 63-51, which is good for first place in the National League Central. The Cardinals are definitely one of the best teams in the National League, and they've been playing like it lately, as they've won 7 of their past 10. They have perennial MVP candidates in Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, who have been producing all year long. They also have Tommy Edman, who has been very underrated but very good. As for their pitching, they have a really good starting rotation that consists of players like Adam Wainwright, Miles Michaelis, and new acquisitions in Jordan Montgomery and Jose Quintana. I really do like the additions of Montgomery and Quintana, who I think are really exactly what the Cardinals needed. They needed some depth in their starting rotation, and those two are going to give them exactly that. And they also have one of the best closers in baseball this year in Ryan Helsley, who has a sub-1 ERA. So St. Louis is a really good team who I think got even better at the deadline. At number 7, I have the San Diego Padres. I feel like I might get some pushback with this one because of all the drama surrounding San Diego as of late. Obviously, we have the Fernando Tatis Jr. suspension, which really just kinda decimates this team. Even though the Padres are denying it, they could have very well used Tatis this year. They are slumping as of late, as they've only won 4 of their last 10. But even without Tatis, this team is still really talented and one of the best teams on paper. Offensively, we have Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Josh Bell, Jake Cronenworth, Brandon Drury, and Jurickson Profar. And in their starting rotation, they have 5 solid pitchers in Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, Sean Manaea, Blake Snell, and Mike Clevenger. Blake Snell has really stood out as of late. He was off to a really bad start, and lately he looks like more of the pitcher we've come to know. And obviously in their bullpen, they have the best closer in baseball in Josh Hader. So like I said, even with all the drama surrounding this team, I still think they're going to make it deep into October and make a deep playoff run, and I think they're one of the best teams in the game. At number 6, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto is a top-heavy team. They have a very good lineup and a very good pitching rotation and closer. As we stand today, they sit at 61-52, which is good for the first wildcard spot in the American League. But I think they're a lot better than their record shows. I think they have the talent to take down New York and maybe even Houston. I really like the 1-2 punch they have in their starting rotation in Kevin Gausman and Alek Manoah. And I'm a huge fan of Jordan Romano, who has been one of the league's best closers. Toronto is a very dangerous team who I would not want to see come October, and I have them coming in at number 6. At number 5, I have the New York Yankees. This might come as a surprise to some people, but the Yankees have been really slumping over the past month plus. They still have a great overall record at 72-43, and they're not going to give up the AL East crown. Like, they're easily going to win that division, but I'm still worried about New York and the playoffs. But even as bad as New York has been lately, and I do think they should be worried, they're still really talented. They have Aaron Judge, who could break the single-season home run record. They have Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, and lots of talent in their pitching rotation as well. So even as talented as New York is, I'm still worried about them. They've been playing so bad for so long, and that's not what you like to see out of a team that's looking to compete for a World Series. At number 4, I have the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are clicking on all cylinders as they're currently riding a 6-game winning streak, which has gotten them to 70-46 on the year. This is an extremely dangerous team. While I don't think they're going to win their division, they're going to be by far the most dangerous wildcard team. They're a powerhouse offensively as they have players like Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, and Dansby Swanson. And their pitching isn't too far behind as they have aces in Max Fried and Kyle Wright. Spencer Strider and Charlie Morton have also been pretty good lately, so this is one of the best starting rotations in the game. And they also have Kenley Jansen, who's been really good this year, and I love the pickup of Raisel Iglesias, who I think is going to be a very good setup man for Atlanta. Atlanta is a very good team, and I would not be surprised at all to see them in the World Series yet again this year. Getting into the top 3, at number 3, I have the New York Mets. The Mets are one of the hottest teams in baseball as they're currently sitting at 75-40, where they've won 8 of their last 10 games. They are getting great production offensively from Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and also Starling Marte, Jeff McNeil, and Brandon Nimmo. Alonso and Lindor might just be the best 1-2 punch in baseball right now as they're tearing the cover off the ball. And their pitching isn't too bad either, as they have Max Scherzer, who's been pitching like one of the best pitchers in the game, and they also just got back Jacob deGrom, who looks like the Jacob deGrom of old. They also have the best closer in baseball this year in Edwin Diaz, who has 27 saves to go along with a 1.33 ERA. So while there are some memes and jokes to be made about the Mets' failures in the past, this year they are clearly legit and they are World Series contenders. At number 2, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now I know the Dodgers have the best record in baseball by a pretty wide margin, but I just don't think they're the best. But the fact that I have them at number 2 doesn't mean I necessarily am trying to hate on them. Like, they should clearly be favorites in the National League. Offensively, they have 3 legitimate MVP candidates in my eyes in Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Trey Turner. And their starting rotation isn't too far behind as they have one of the best and most deep rotations in the game. On paper, this team is just absolutely loaded and they're really good, but I just don't think they're at number 1 right now. And at number 1, the best team in baseball, I have the Houston Astros. As we stand today, the Astros sit at 75-41, which is the best record in the American League. Offensively, they're loaded with stars as they have players like Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, and Alex Bregman, who has been on fire as of late. And they have a rotation similar to the Dodgers. It's just absolutely stacked, and they have 6 starting pitchers with the return of Lance McCullers soon, so someone's going to have to get booted out of the rotation. And it's most likely going to be Christian Javier or maybe even Jose Urquidy, which is just unreal because those 2 pitchers have been close to all-star caliber, and the fact that they're getting kicked out of this rotation just shows how good it is. As for their bullpen, it's very good as well, as they have Ryan Presley closing out games, who has 23 saves on the year and is a very consistent and safe closer. So top to bottom, this team is really good. They're built for October. They have lots of players who have been there and know how to play when the moment gets big, so I have a lot of confidence in Houston, and I think they are the best team in baseball. And real quick before we end out the video, I want to give a shout out to 2 teams who just missed out on the top 10 in the Milwaukee Brewers and Tampa Bay Rays. These are 2 really good teams who unfortunately just missed out on the list, who I could very well see playing in October. So there you have my top 10 teams in baseball. Let me know what you guys think down below, where you agree or disagree. As always, I want to thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.